Good morning, YouTube. This is LA Prepper, and today I'm going to show you how to mount a Ziploc bag case in your car. You know, some of you might be thinking, what if I need a Ziploc bag in my car, but I don't have time to go to the store and I don't have time to go inside, but I really need to, I need to grab a Ziploc bag, right? So what you do is you take an old phone case, you get some tape, and you tape that son of a bitch in there, and now you got 50 bags. Well, maybe not 50 anymore, but now you got 50 bags of Ziploc. Boom, right in your car. Kid needs to seal up a snack. Boom. Only ate half your French fries. You want to save the other half for later. Boom. Somebody's getting sick in the car. Boom. Hand him a Ziploc bag. You know, I'm trying to make your life easier, YouTube, with these types of products, right? Okay. In all seriousness, I'm actually trying to fix my second phone holder. This one, can't remember what happened to it. It broke spontaneously, and maybe it was too small for my phone, and I had to break it so it would fit a larger phone. But at any rate, today's video is going to be about non-stop flights to China. No, wait. Behind the scenes at Dolce Gabbana's culture. I can't even say. I'm not even cultured enough to say this word right. Couture Club. No. Today's video is about the economy and about brick and mortar stores. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Banks shutter 1,700 branches in the fastest decline on record. Oh, look how sad she is standing in front of this bank that has their sign ripped. That's unfortunate. They got their for lease sign in the window. I have a highly advanced theory about the economy, which is the more for lease signs you see in good business districts, the more trouble we're in. So let's go down here, and I want to show you this graph real quick. And sorry I don't have a tripod for this, but this is the growth and decline of the change in branches in the United States. So we have, of course, we had a lot right before the dot-com bubble, and then even after the bubble, they were still growing, just in a little more modest numbers. And then we have ludicrous amounts of bank branches opening. You know, oh, everyone wants to lend money, and I don't care what your income is, you can buy a house and all that stuff. Then all of a sudden in 2009, of course, we have the kind of the beginning of the housing issues, and banks are getting in trouble, banks are getting bailed out, people were doing a lot more online banking, and boosh, 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 boosh. You know, all these bank branches are closing. So it's enough of that article. I'll try to remember to throw it in the link to my video. But what does this mean? Oh man, I gotta move this box out of here. That solvent smells really bad. Oh. So what does this mean to us as preppers? What does banks closing have to do with prepping? Well, excuse me, the economy is shifting, right? We're shifting from a brick and mortar economy to an online economy. I'd show you on my phone right now. I'm using it to record, but you know, I can go to any ATM, withdraw funds. I can get cash back at almost any store if I use my ATM debit card. Not all stores, but most stores. I can deposit checks on my phone. I can transfer funds online. I can apply for a loan online. I could apply to buy a house online. That's something, you know, certainly you used to have to do in person. There's not a lot of reasons that I personally ever need to go into a branch the rest of my life. Maybe the only one is to start an account. Typically, to open an account, you have to go in, copy your license, sign some documents, all that stuff. I suspect there are a few banks, if not many banks in the country, that let you open an account online, although I don't know, to be honest, but it wouldn't surprise me. So, does this have ramifications beyond people that just work in banks? Yeah, of course it does. I made a video recently, I think I made a video recently where I was talking about Toys R Us stores closing. Um, you don't really think about Amazon selling toys per se, but the idea that you're going to be a business that just sells one type of product and succeed, that's not so true as it used to be. J.C. Penney's is a good example. They sold discount clothing, but they were kind of in a really interesting area between nice clothes like Macy's and Nordstrom's and super cheap clothes like uh, Ross, Marshalls, Walmart, even kind of Target, Kmart to a certain extent, although Kmart's a little bit cheaper than Target. Target's not as cheap as it used to be. Target's kind of becoming like the upscale shopping experience. You fill up a shopping cart in Target, you're going to be spending $200 probably on towels and housewares and stupid little baskets to hold $10 towels. And I don't have a very high opinion of most of the crap I see people buy when I'm at Target and Kmart in the middle of the day. But at any rate, what does all these banks closing mean for you? Well, if you're retired and you are collecting a pension or retirement or you have some income properties, then it's probably not as important for you. If you are working, you need, I think, to think about, and this isn't, this brick and mortar, shift away from brick and mortar isn't something new, but I can almost guarantee that regardless of these statistics on bank branches closing, you could have gone into almost any one of these banks and asked the tellers point blank, or told the tellers point blank, by the way, there's been a lot of banks closing in the last few years. Are you concerned about your job? And most of these tellers would probably look at you and say, not really. Or, maybe, but the bottom line is they're not really actively looking for new work. They're not, they're probably not taking big steps to secure their financial future, right? So the point is, you have to be thinking of the bigger picture sometimes as a prepper. Is your job secure in the long term, not just in the short or medium term, but in the long term? I'll give you a good example. Let's say you work at a grocery store and you're a checker. Now, self-checkout isn't a new thing, but if you work in a grocery store and you're not afraid of a self-checkout machine taking your job, you're probably not thinking macro enough. You might be thinking, well, they're not going to make the whole store full of self-checkouts, or there'll always be some people working behind the counter, or, some humans will always want that personal experience and that's what I provide, or I've been here the longest, they'll never fire me. All the things that people say to themselves in denial. One of the last official company I worked for, aside from Postmates, who I did some deliveries for a few months, I was processing foreclosures. Now, did I feel great about that as my contribution to society? Not exactly, but, foreclosures have to be processed just like short sales, just like, anything else in the market. So we weren't, it's not like we were exactly a part of some nefarious practice. By the time we spoke with people, they were basically completely hopeless in the sense that they were going to keep their home. They didn't have income. They weren't looking to do a short sale. They were way over leveraged. They basically just wanted to walk away from it and not have someone sue them. I did speak with a lot of these people, and believe it or not, most of them didn't even call in, didn't even try to work with a bank, I have worked short sales, I have tried to save homes from foreclosure. Maybe I'll talk about that in a separate video, but, more at length. But at any rate, the point I'm trying to make is that the company I worked for down in San Diego, I survived. I eventually was let go, but I survived about 5 waves of layoffs. And keep in mind, I was one of the most inexperienced people there. So there were people who had been there for years who were getting fired ahead of me. And I sort of joked at one barbecue that we had that this was the, thank God we didn't get fired barbecue, because they just let go of a bunch of people and then we had a party. And I thought that was a little bit messed up personally. But back to the topic, As the economy, do I think the economy is going to collapse tomorrow? No, I really don't. Do I think there are a lot of funny things going on in the economy that don't really make financial sense? Yeah, I do. So many things, from all the gambles in the stock market, derivative of a derivative of a derivative, to the quantitative easing, to artificial low interest rates. But since I'm not an economist and this channel is more about prepping, I don't get too much into speaking about the economy. But like I said, the point I'm trying to make is I would advise all of you to think a little bit more macro about what situation you're in. When I decided to go back to school for engineering, part of it was because I always wanted to be an engineer. My father's an engineer. I have been kind of thinking like an engineer my entire life. I've been working a lot of underpaid jobs that I'm a little overqualified for, pushing paper, selling widgets. Nothing that anyone else that pushes paper couldn't do. So, I really wanted to break into something that is a little bit more advanced and, try to make this country a strong country in a little bit more meaningful way than processing foreclosures, for example. Even the handyman work that I do, I feel good about it, but anyone can put, well, not anyone, but a lot of people can put together an IKEA desk. So I don't need to spend my life putting together IKEA furniture when somebody else with who that's the highest level of their skill can do. Not to make any comment about people whose highest level of ability is putting together furniture. It still counts, right? So, does it mean you need to think about whether or not your company is going to close tomorrow? Not necessarily, but let me frame it like this. If a computer can sell the product that you're selling, you should think about that. A computer can sell car insurance. Do you want to be a car insurance salesman? A computer can start a bank account or a trading account. Do you want to be a financial planner? Computers can't do blue collar stuff presently. We don't have a lot of robots digging trenches and things like that. But at the same time, we have robots picking fruit, working in the fields. Obviously you wouldn't want to go to school, or you wouldn't aim to be a cotton picker because the cotton gin has been invented. You wouldn't, go out of your way to become someone who can run a team of horses because we have the car, right? So maybe this isn't the best time to go be a bank employee, okay? Maybe this isn't the best time to open up your own little grocery store because you're competing with Amazon. Maybe this isn't the best time to be a delivery company. Again, with Amazon, and Amazon's even fighting in my freaking line of work. They're offering assembly services. They're offering lots of blue collar services. Does that, and I've kind of looked into like how I sign up for Amazon service stuff, and it's kind of a nightmare. But if you can't beat them, join them, right? So I'm going to kind of close this video because certain subscribers, cough cough, related to small amphibians, think that I should make shorter videos, and they're right. But just keep, while you're studying the micro, while you're studying what's happening in your neighborhood and in your block and in your city and county, keep just a little bit of a macro picture onto what's going on. Because the world is shifting. Why can't I read these comments? The world is shifting, sometimes quickly and sometimes slowly, but the point is, you have to kind of think a little bit ahead. Can a robot do your job? Can a computer do your job? Can someone overseas do your job? If your marketable skills are, I can use a computer, I can speak English, I can send an email, I can use Excel, well, guess what? There are tens of millions of people across the world who can do that. And they might not be able to do it better than you, but they can do it at the same level as you, and they'll work for pennies on the dollar or dollars on the dollar. For example, a few years ago, I was working with, I was trying to do some outsourcing stuff, just kind of messing around with people in the Philippines. And I can get a college graduate person to work for me for $3 an hour. Now, they might not be doing calculus for me, but a large majority of the work that people do in offices is relatively mundane. So if your job can be replaced by someone in another country for 3, 4, $5 an hour, and you're getting paid maybe 15 or 20 an hour, plus the extra 5 to 10 an hour that it's costing your company, if you're only getting paid 15 or 17 an hour, your company could be paying $30 an hour just to employ you because of all the taxes and workers' comp and all this extra crap that they have to pay to hire you. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just keep a macro mind. Have a little bit of a sense of where your industry is going. Is your industry going more online? Is it going more offline? Is your industry outsourcing jobs? Even as an engineer, as an aspiring engineer, I have to compete with engineers in other countries, and I can't really do anything about that. But at least ultimately, when I do get a job, I'll be getting, an engineer's pay rate rather than a paper pusher's pay rate. So thanks for watching YouTube. Let me know what you think. I don't talk that much about the economy, but I saw this article and I just really wanted to talk about it. Is your career safe from being internetized or onlineified? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.